knocked out of the pool here for our very first map.
Are you excited for this matchup? Because I'm pretty excited for this matchup, John. I think I'm more excited to watch Ken's play than I am to see these two teams go at each other. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm still super excited, but I haven't seen Ken's play in forever.
Yeah, it's been quite a bit, so it's going to be a nice opportunity for him to step up to the plate here, see what he can bring to the table. Obviously, we'll see what exactly that'll lead to when we get in game, but definitely a nice opportunity here to get another peek at him. Habana's going to be the first operator to get knocked out from the attacking side. Second operator coming up here in just a sec. This will be the ban from the Soniqs, I believe. And yes, it is indeed. That'll be Thatcher getting knocked out. Usually we see Maverick in the Habana position there, but other than that, things following according to trends for Oregon here.
Yeah, the Habana ban coming out, that's a pretty unique one. As you were saying, we usually see the Maverick either taken out or, well, obviously he's going to be used for this one, but Habana Thatcher, the Thatcher makes sense. Hib, we'll have to see. It more than likely has something to do with either impact tricking or just the pure amount of utility that she brings. Maestro and Malusi going to be hindering the defense just a touch. That Maestro ban specifically, very, very big, because Echo is taken out right now from competitive play. So you won't have Maestro, won't have access to Echo either. Malusi off the board. This is going to open up the playbook on the defensive end a whole lot. We've been seeing a lot of people playing Malusi recently.
Yeah, we've been seeing this ban sequence come up quite a bit as well, with Maestro being knocked out next to Echo also being banned, of course, universally at the time being. So that's been pretty common trend. It's actually opened up quite a bit of play possibility for the attackers. So we're right in line with that. And we'll go into our first round here, folks. It's going to be a basement hold from Tempo Storm here. Everything looking pretty much business as usual here. We are going to see that quick 6-pick off the Kaid over to a mute, though. And at the same time, another interesting one there from Sleben, an ace to a buck, interestingly enough. So we'll see how that plays out for the Soniqs here over the next 2 minutes or so.
Not too bad of a pickup overall, just because they know that Tempo Storm is probably going to run wall denial, so they're going to have to torch the wall anyways to get to it. So just overload your soft destruction and have easily handle all of the walls that are needed. I like this pickup from the Soniqs here, especially for, I mean, Gonfi, Iconic, Sleben. All three of these guys, hard fraggers. Give him a better gun here, see what he can possibly do. And by better gun, I really just mean overall, Buck's kit is better for fragging than what Ace's is. He has the AK-12, but you don't want to step out and die super early because of the utility. You got to respect what you have in your hands. With Buck, not only can you provide that soft destruction, but you can also get in those gunfights and not feel so bad about it.
All right, guys. Well, here we go. Soniqs going to be let out onto the map any second now. Let's take a look at what their opening salvo is going to lead us to. We do have some aggression getting teed up there by Tempo right at the edge of tunnel, but it's more just setup than anything else, as those players will quickly fall back deeper into the depths where they are able to hold. You can see Jarvis, of course, having the half wall to play off of here, including one of his own Goyo shields, so that he can safely hold the angle from the corner. If that goes down, he'll pretty much instantly fall back, and more than likely we'll see a reinforcement go up on that wall, assuming one was left behind for the defenders here. We're going to see not that be the only place of pressure as well. We've got both Craters and Kens also holding angles against the construction push should the Soniqs decide to go for it. And it's looking very much like that is going to be the case right now, with 4 players working their way towards the big doorway leading up to it. So Tempo definitely going to get an opportunity to use their setup here, as Soniqs are playing directly into it at the start of the round.
Yeah, very nice crossfire, as you were saying. Ken's in a very forward position right now, very pivotal as well, as he's working this Goyo shield. Might be able to get our first pick here, but they're cleaning it of all the stun grenades, as well as stun grenades pouring in behind him as well. So a lot of throwables right now for the Soniqs, but they're going to get the very first kill. It's actually crazy. All the way downtown with the mute SMG-11, slowing down the Soniqs right now.
Most members from Tempo here still just kind of waiting for an opportunity to pick something up. They've already started it out well. Ken's, of course, taking a little bit of heat, but he's able to back up, get into a safe position. Super's had this advanced position on the back stairs actually for a really long time. He's been here for a good 40 seconds at least, but has not been able to do anything with it just yet. That may be changing, though. Another player's going to get forced back from the pillar. That's going to be Creators taking quite a bit of a hit from that as he goes down to just over 50 HP. Ken's still waiting for an opportunity to strike here, but Crazy gets his second. Fortunately for Ken's, though, he's going to pop up right into the crosshair of Super, get down by him. Not fully eliminated just yet, but Iconic does move in to finish the job now as he takes him down and gets pillar control for the Soniqs.
Purely down to flank watch and some soft destruction for the Soniqs as they're trying to fight their ways into sight with 1 minute remaining. No air jabs left for Super as he's already set up the flank for the Soniqs as more droning goes in. Tempo Storm Abiding their time, doing a pretty good job right now. They've backed up to separate positions. Ken's getting caught out earlier inside of Harry Potter on tower, but now it's up to the Soniqs with no drones to try and make this happen. There's going to be a lot of face checking, and this is where Dream could come in and make some very, very large impact here for Tempo Storm with that M590. Oh, people with no information? Well, shotgun works perfect for that situation. SMG-11 still in hand, though, as Dream bounces back and forth on the shield. He sees a kneecap right around this door that he could use, get an early kill here, but it's actually crazy. So you hear him tiptoeing, more like tip-tapping through the field there on Super's head, but Iconic forces his way in, fights back out towards pillars as he rotates through, knows that someone's playing Freezer. Free Fire could come through. No, it's a triple kill for Iconic as he swings wide. Almost gets eaten alive from Laundry, though, as he fights back into Supply Room. He has the diffuser in hand, starts it behind the cabinet. Crazy, does he have the Nitro Cell? He does indeed, and Iconic gonna get ended by Crazy with a triple kill here in round one.
Super passive round there from the guys over on Tempo Storm, but it works out flawlessly, especially for Crazy there, who's just tapping players away one by one every opportunity that he's given, and for the most part kind of single-handedly tears apart this take here. Besides that, of course, other players still doing a good job of holding positions and at the minimum delaying Soniqs for a massive amount of time there. Despite that fact, of course, Soniqs were still able to get themselves some good map control, but just never really able to push it past the initiation point and get themselves into the site, leading to the eventual shutdown from Tempo's defense that we saw at the end of the round there in the 2 versus 1. Great play from Tempo, and specifically some great play coming out from Crazy in that round.
Oh, absolutely. For the Soniqs, they ended up getting caught up in a very awkward kind of take there, simply because Easily got picked off a little early on there, and he's the only hard destruction that allows him to get through walls. He's kind of the, the linchpin of the offense. If he dies, nothing happens. And the main reason for that is obviously he's the only one that can get the double wall open for Supply Room. So you go into construction, put a torch line across there, and now the entire area in which Crazy was playing is no man's land. You can't stand there or you die. But without him on the board, almost impossible to handle that positioning there, and Soniqs ends up losing off of that. So hopefully Soniqs can play things a little bit safer early on there, but it did seem like a pretty cheeky pick there by Crazy.
Tempo's going to continue to rotate right around the site wheel here, move themselves upstairs to the next hold, following the usual trends. Soniqs bringing some similar flair, but also an extra hard breach this time in the form of Slebin. It's going to be much more useful for trying to get access to some of the sketchier areas of the map. We also have that forward reinforcement there, the shield rather, being placed up on top of the bed. That's going to open up some interesting play capabilities for Tempo if they want to try and get a little bit more aggressive on this round. Seems that the little bits of it that we saw back in round number 1 worked out very well for them here. So, wow, this is actually a very aggressive setup here for Jarvis, specifically if he's going to be the one to hold this, which certainly looks like it's the case based on what we're seeing.
Okay, so I'm going to go on a limb here, chat, and I'm very, very sorry that I usually predict things and they end up being wrong, but this is what I'm going to assume. They're assuming that Soniqs are going to go for an attic push and that they'll waste most of their utility on that, trying to burn through. And when they rotate for Master, they'll be very, very low on utility. So that single ADS with the shield combo right there is going to make it so damn difficult for anybody to deal with that, because they're not only going to have no grenades, but no stuns to burn the ADS, and Jarvis gets to practically do whatever he wants right here. Yeah, as long as he has his shield and they can't rush him, he wins that situation.
So Jarvis in a great position to find impact in a late round situation. The Soniqs are not necessarily clearing in the way that you just mentioned before, Stokes. We've got an interesting clear coming in primarily from the bottom floor right now from the Soniqs as they move in from small tower and are working their way over towards the kids' stairs from there. You can see this now with Iconic and Gomfy working their way through, already opening up some real estate here from the bottom up perspective, and I believe opening at least one of the mirror windows as well.
Yeah, this is a double windows take here, John. So instead of going for attic, what they need to do is they need to get pressure onto kids' dorms and then start clearing out the entire A bomb site. And once they're able to do that, it's just a simple hop and plant situation. We'll see if Tempo Storm can try and slow this down any. It's going to be Ken's once again in a forward position. I like how he's just walking in at the sub as a sub and trying to make it happen. But hey, it's Easily with the first pick this time around. On to Creators. Not the worst thing in the world, but all the ADS is burnt, and so is Ken's.
Ken's going to get shuffled out into the open where Easily will have an easy kill for himself right there. Crazy potential with a good Nitro Cell lineup here, but he decides not to commit to it. Iconic finds yet another kill, and Crazy with another unfortunate missed opportunity there. Misses the the kneecap of, I think it was Dream, passing by him. Plant attempt coming in. The nitro cell is thrown, but it is immediately shot out by the players supporting the plant. And finally, we'll see Crazy meet his end. Jarvis finding quite a bit of impact here, though. Gets the first 2 kills for his team on the round. Now needs to find the next 3 in order to clutch this out. And he's already dealing with so much fire coming out against him. Super is going to be able to finish things off for the Soniqs as they take swift control over round number 2.
Great round 2 there from the Soniqs. Instead of doing something default that they'll probably plan for, by the way, they did, we'll go for a white clear and go for a double window take, and it worked out super, super well. There's a lot of ADSs and other things set up across the map, especially for Attic inside of Master. So when they pressure that window, there's less utility to burn through for the offense. So they're able to get a lot of pressure early on, especially with popping that Mira down low, because that Mira was really the main piece for the defense to stick to try and hold down Dorm. So overall, a great take there from the Soniqs, using that information game really early on.
Time to see, of course, the Soniqs can try to push this a little bit further. We're going to see a reattempt from Tempo Storm on the same site. More than likely without that setup on the inside of Bedroom, although we might see that make another appearance here if they're feeling confident in that setup's ability to impact should Soniqs execute in the way they need them to. That's the problem, though. They kind of avoided the issue entirely on the last round, and now, if they try to gamble on that happening once again, they may, or rather, they won't be too surprised to find that Soniqs may just try to execute in the same way they did in the last round. But we'll also see if Soniqs going to try to vary things up. We do see a couple drones working their way over towards Big Tower, which could indicate they're probably going to try and play for more attic control this time if the drones are to be believed.
I was about to say, I think that they did that initial take out of pure coincidence. I think that was the Soniqs plan from the jump, because they didn't get a drone over to see what was going on inside of Master, or really what was going on inside of Attic. So I figure it's a double take in the first place, and they just felt better at that. But now that we see the drones over there, we might be going for something different, or they might just be seeing if someone's currently playing inside of Tower. We'll have to see what the Soniqs exactly want to go for, but it is going to be the same setup here. Actually, no, I cancel that. It's not going to be the same setup here with Jarvis inside of Master. They've now shifted things around, so this is now clear. Oh no, they've actually reinforced it. Jarvis does have a shield in his pocket, so he can just put that down for himself whenever, but no, actually he switched it out. So last round he had the shield, now he has the nitro cell. I'm just checking on my base. This is all good. So whatever. Dude, this is the life of doing color commentary for Siege.
Like yourself here every like 3 seconds.
Very little things change. Very little things change all the time. So no shield for Jarvis. So they've reinforced those to try and show the same setup, but there's no real positioning that you can play in there without the shield. So I guess they're just trying to make it difficult for them to try and help out their other teammates inside of Master. Kind of a weird setup right now for Tempo Storm.
Tempo waiting for the repel to come up here. Dream specifically, I should say, waiting on that repel, and he may get an opportunity to impact upon it. Not going to be the only position he'll have to play from, and he also is going to get a little bit of an impact thrown his way that will do a little bit of damage, but more importantly, takes out the mute jammer that was sitting on the floor right next to him and opens up play capability for the Soniqs to breach in the walk-in closet and, of course, get them access to the site right next to it. Away from that, not a whole lot of action actually working its way towards walk-in here, as like we were talking about before, the pressure actually is working its way into attic and opening up one of those 2 walls, which easily has already been able to accomplish. Super is pretty much ready to hop in the window, but he's got other business to take care of as he's going to rappel back up to the roof. Either way, Soniqs making good progress with their map control as we approach the halfway mark on the round here.
That's plenty of time for a lot of action to still happen here, John. We'll see how it goes. Tempo Storm skimping back to site as Slebin and the rest of the Soniqs start opening things up to make it a more drastic situation. Gunfights could happen at any time, but still plenty of utility to go through here. So it's just early beginning still for both of these squads. Crazy going to take a little bit of damage here from the frag grenade from underneath, but now he's got some pressure on his kid's window, so he's going to need to back up. I almost said Maestro window there, but Miro window there. Now gets popped by the offense. Soniqs in a pretty good spot right now, and oh, that was a very big drone to miss their creators. Plenty of intel now on Crazy, so they've, for the most part, gotten the setup on site. This is truly what they need to worry about, though. Dream on the rotation. Let's see if he can get a big pick here. He can't. Nobody playing the windows, and now they've been marked, but Soniqs already mid-execute here as Jarvis and Kens get taken down.
They also know exactly where Dream popped out from, more than likely, judging from where they're executing, so they know they've got a lot of free space to work with on the site. Dream is only just now going to be rotating back in, and Creators is already dead, so it's just on Dream. Gets himself up the kid's stairs at least to pick off one for free as Iconic goes down. Now he's going to try to quickly rotate. Goes for a Hail Mary nitro cells. Not going to blow it up just yet, but even on the delayed explosion, unfortunately, won't lead to too much there. Gets tripped up on the way back up those main stairs. Is going to try and swing in, but as you might expect, he'll get shut down by Easily, as they very much expect that push at that point. And the Soniqs take a second round in a row here on the kids' defense.
Easley's been playing too much ranked and laying over there in the side of that corner, man. I saw that. Nice take there from the Soniqs, though. Great awareness of what was going on site, especially after those two big picks. Soniqs needed to continue snowballing through the round, especially after what you said. You know, you get the mark outside on the mute. You now know there's only two people on site. So, for instance, for Crazy to have the nitro cell in his hand right there instead of just staying gun up in that situation, trying to play that mirror so close, not the best thing in the world to be doing. But I mean, the Soniqs just bowled them over, able to get the plant down, and they just had to fight against the guy that was off site with man count. So, not too much hindering Soniqs there. I really wish that we would have seen the prior setup that Tempo was bringing when they went for the attic push, but hey, beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, Tempo unfortunately is getting like really unlucky with where Soniqs actually choosing to execute based on the way their setups have gone here. And interestingly enough, I believe basement is unlocked now for Tempo, but they're going to choose not to go back to it at this point and instead work their way onto the meeting room defense here, see if they can find another round for themselves to tie this back up at 2-2. Very similar flare coming in from the Soniqs execute as well. In fact, pretty much the same exact operator lineup. Not much reason for them to vary anything at this point, so they're going to work it just as well. See some extra reinforcements working their way up here onto the attic, and that's because attic is still very important to hold on this site. We don't see it played super often, so just to explain that, much like many other sites in Siege, holding the area above the actual site is going to prove very important because of the access that it gives to the attackers to any defenders that might be holding on site.
Okay, so this is something that I haven't seen done for a little while. Lots of tower presence coming out inside of T3, and not the fact that someone's playing there, but the fact that we have shields and ADSs and everything else dedicated there. It kind of got given away by this right here, this big hole, but the thing is that Tempo Storm is actually using those holes for double duty. You might be asking what for, but I'll tell you, the angle upstairs inside of the tower sees through that flooring. So if they don't clear out the guy all the way inside of T3, Kens can move around to the other side, and you can actually shoot right down through those holes. Big brain Stokes, you're welcome, chat. There you go. So Kens can actually have a play inside of stopping them as well as anybody inside of attic, which is a really big deal. Tempo Storm has a lot of their presence pushed towards them going for a meeting plant here. Let's see how Soniqs act.
Taking a look at the Soniqs, everything working its way in through master side. It looks like right now we're just the front door if they're moving in downstairs here. A lot of drone work, as you would kind of expect at this point in the round, due to the fact that Soniqs are going up against the site we don't always see, and more than likely definitely don't see too often from a team like Tempo here. So a little bit of investigation to be done before the Soniqs are going to feel comfortable moving forward. Now, that little bit of upstairs pressure, of course, they're going to have to realize that there's a counteracting defense being put up here by Tempo in the attic area, and Soniqs are very well aware of that. It's just a matter of how exactly do we try to tear it down. One of the Selmas is going to be used here right by the big window to open up further access to kids in the back there and hopefully fish out one of those players. But no, it's going to be Easily instead that goes down here, but it is quickly traded. Now Tempo takes back the advantage, though his Creators is able to get his team another one with the elimination of Gomfy, bringing things down to a 4 versus 3. Iconic trying to work his way into attic to retrade the situation back under his team's control, but it's already a little too late for that. And even worse, Super has also been dropped downstairs closer to the site.
This is a big problem for the Soniqs. They have all the top pressure in the world, but they have no horizontal pressure. With nobody downstairs, Tempo already knows what they have to do. They just have to play on site or a touch off site and stay out of line of sight from the Soniqs upstairs. It seems like, I believe, Slevin is just going to stay upstairs and continue to try and work this verticality. Well, actually, no, it's backwards. Iconic stays upstairs, and then we have Slevin rotate around. Some damage onto the mute here, but Crazy finally going to get confirmed by Iconic. Slevin some more pressure onto the single panel, as actually neither of them have the case right now. Where is the case even at? Can't even see where it is. It's actually outside the double window right now, so I'm going to have one of the Soniqs members grab that unless they're going to go for the frags.
Iconic committing himself even further forward. Unfortunately, is not going to catch Creators sitting at the freezer stairs. Creators also gets himself an angle on his Slevin, but is unable to take him out. Slevin now alone in the 1v2. He does not have the kit, so he's going to have to try and frag this one out, but I'm pretty sure Tempo are aware of the fact that it's down. Despite that fact, we're going to see a swing from Dream there, and the two players will trade each other out, which will end the round in Tempo's favor. That's going to be tie point now at 2-2. Both teams locked up here as we head into the 5th round.
Very strong around there from Tempo Storm. Soniqs keeps hitting the soft side of every single one of Tempo Storm's setups, if you've noticed. So, like, all of their utilities mostly set up for a specific push, right? And that's how every team works. And sometimes we'll see them rotated if they get early information on what the offense is doing. But every single time, the Soniqs have been able to work in undetected and get done what they really need to get done. This time around, though, Tempo finally nipping it in the bud, slowing down the Soniqs enough, especially with the frags on the horizontal level, able to clear out everything and force the Soniqs into a really, really bad situation. So great stuff there by Tempo Storm, but also great stuff by Soniqs, continuing to find that soft side of the defense.
Right, folks, another basement defense coming up here from Tempo. If you remember back from round 1, this was the first site that we saw the folks from Tempo work their way onto, and it went quite well for them, actually. A pretty solid hold, mainly off of the efforts from Crazy, who was picking up frags left and right due to an early pick that I believe he got. It's the only hard breach from the Soniqs, left them without valid capability to really work their way into the site, and they kind of just wasted the rest of the time down hoping to get picks. They got a few of them, but unfortunately were never really able to get enough to get themselves into a plant, and then lost it in the 1v2. This time they brought a second hard breach, so that will hopefully fix the major issue that they ran into back in round number 1. That will also mean, of course, the Tempo will more than likely have to do a little bit more work on this round.
Probably. We'll see if they get the initial picks first, because like that's what happened last time, right? I mean, easily dies early. It's very difficult to get that wall open. But as you said, they bring Sleben this time with the ace. It's going to have a large impact on the round if they're allowed to get to that wall. And then obviously the other bridge you have to cross when you get there is what do they have for wall denial? Well, the answer is none. So that's a pretty good thing. It means all of those aces are going to go off without a hitch. And it seems like Tempo Storm really wants to play this open, I'm going to say, with this Mira being here. That could lead to some complications later on. We'll see how it plays out.
Mirror window, at minimum, will still give them good angles to play off of in the event that they're unable to fall back and reinforce that. But as you said, with the mirror window there, it wouldn't make much sense to reinforce it at that point, as you would just have a POV and more than anything, early warning that the wall was about to be hard breached, which is...
You're now at a zoo for the Soniqs.
Yeah, which obviously isn't super useful at this level of play. So more than likely, as you said, it's going to get left open. In the meanwhile, taking a look at what the Soniqs are up to, working themselves on opening up the hatch directly above electrical on the inside of meeting room. That should go off without too much of an issue. No resistance really coming in from Tempo. They thought that they would be able to resist it unless they got lucky with a headshot angle. But as you can see, there is no one really preventing that hatch from being opened. They'll just stop players from hopping down it. Sonic still trying to get intel as well here, since we're still very early days in the round. But Sleben has found enough to be able to self-push himself down through those freezer stairs for now, just to take out the default cam. But he's got that other hatch in the freezer open as well, so if his drone can get intel onto a player's position, that might open up some frag capability later on in the round here too.
Well, Tempo is doing a good job of slowing down the Soniqs, but they've also gotten quite a bit of work done, as well as using their utility in some different ways. Already got the hatch open for electrical, so it's going to be very difficult to rotate back through there, as well as putting pressure onto the tower stairs. With no pillar player, oh my! Tempo Storm actually light up the scoreboard, but I don't believe that the new Iconic was inside of pillar! They did not. Double kill comes out for him. Big pickups here, but it's almost equalized out on utility. Ken's getting picked off a little early, but, well, my disc's still out. Now the problem for the Soniqs, no more hard breach once again. Sleben's out. Everyone basically starved of utility, all except for Iconic still having an impact. He's going to use that to get rid of the shield here. Oh no, they didn't look around for the Frisbees first, and the Frisbee catcheth his impact there. So very big misplay for the Soniqs as things get more drastic going into the last 30 seconds. But two big pickups here for Sleben, and oh my, the Soniqs are all over the board on round 5.
That AK-12, man. That's why we keep seeing Ace getting banned out. He's such a good operator. Even without the utility to use in that situation, he still comes in clutch with the gun itself and saves Soniqs in the midst of that round, where it was once again looking like they wouldn't have had the room they needed to push onto site. It's quickly changed up due to the Ace being brought in and picking up some nice frags. Great stuff from Sleben. That's now going to put Soniqs in leading control of the matchup. 3-2, of course, as we enter the final round of their attacking half.
Soniqs are looking really good in the clutch right now, and that's scary for the series overall. Tempo Storm has been continually able to put Soniqs into a down man position, but the Soniqs continue to fight back. And picking up 3 rounds on this offense is a pretty big deal. I mean, granted, they do still have the Maverick, which that's usually the big bans that we talk about, as we were talking about previously, with Maverick and Thatcher being banned. When those two are off the board, it hinders the offense a lot. But the offense has a lot more access to other toys right now that are, being given to them. Well, for instance, the AK-12, just like, Blue was just talking about. Fantastic weapon on a really, really good hard breach. Ends up helping them with that round in particular. So we'll see if the Soniqs can continue their reign of terror, at least over the kill feed, as it's been looking pretty dang good.
And in the meantime here for Tempo, they've chosen to go upstairs now, once again, for their final round on defense. Soniqs have had a lot of luck here, being able to control rounds themselves and push the advantage even further into their favor. So we could very realistically be looking at a 4-2. Of course, the extra castle reinforcements now coming into play, mainly over here on Arsenal's side. Be a little bit of an extra wrinkle and probably open up some play capability for a defender that wants to try and hold here. It's assuming, of course, that we don't see Iconic or one of the other soft creatures here on the Soniqs try to take those out right off bat, but let's wait a second here and see what exactly Tempo's going to try to set themselves up for at the beginning of the round, and it does indeed look like that Jarvis might be sticking around here, so...
Oh, Blue, you've fallen right into my trap card, trying to clear the castle barricades with soft destruction, are you? Well, that's a pretty bad idea, because Jaeger Wolmai exists, so if you clear those, you can't clear anything else. Isn't that fun? So... with the amount of stuns that they have, they would be able to do something, right? But they don't really have the amount of throwables that they need to be clearing a lot of that stuff. And oh man, what an early pickup, Ken's. Oh, the time has passed by, my friend. A lot of people shoot a lot of bullets through walls now. Oh, end up dying early on here, and that's a pretty bad storyline there for Ken, especially with that lesion. But Tempo can still do something here. So very early beginnings here inside of round 6. Soniqs with a nice pickup early on and still quite a bit of utility to use as the clear is coming in from small once again. It worked last time. Why is it going to work twice? Iconic worrying about this pressure from underneath, trying to clear out these mirror windows that no longer exist, obviously, as they're setting up kitchen downstairs to try and defend any plants. But the verticality is being played by Crazies. He ends up lighting up Iconic on the way out of the kitchen.
Iconic is going to be able to escape. Nice job by Iconic picking up the first kill and following the tracers from Ken's there in order to get it, by the way. Some good quick reactions from him has put Soniqs ahead. Now they're going to be able to see if they can keep it that way, however. As like we just saw a moment ago, Iconic nearly losing himself due to the top-down angle from Crazy, but that also reveals himself, so I'm sure Soniqs are working on a plan to get him out of position now, as we can see with the two players trying to work their way in. Flashbang's getting dumped into the big window here just to try and clear out any of the magnets that are sitting on the other side. Easley's got a frag grenade primed. It's going to go in. Unfortunately, it is not going to be primed towards a player. Might have been trying to use it to take out utility, though I didn't see too deep into the site to see if they had anything there, but either way, it's going to be a miss this time. Gonfi will eventually meet Creators here, but Creators very much will come out on top of that fight, leaving him with just a few HP left over. He'll retreat to the depths of the basement. Dream with a perfect headshot angle, but nonetheless gets beaten by Iconic there easily. Also winning a fight. Super getting a plant opportunity. Diffuser goes down, and all of a sudden, Tempo are in a really bad spot here as Creators can only take one bullet, and Jarvis, well, he's dead, so he's not going to be much help either.
That was a very weird instance, but now it's down to Creators in 1 versus 4 here, as apparently the air jab goes off after Jarvis tries to shoot it. Very low HP, and Sleben with a quick peek out the long hallway, able to take down Creators with a headshot, as the Soniqs looking very dominant on this offensive side. 4-2 split in favor of them.
Definitely a good start to the series for the Soniqs, getting quite a few of their players pumped right off the bat here, and now they're going to have to chain that together and pick up at least 3 more rounds, half the total count, to be able to take control of this map and give them the 1-0 lead overall. Especially considering that this is their map pick, they definitely would want a strong start to the series. They're going to go right to Kids for the opening round of the half of themselves here.
All right, so Soniqs headed straight to dorms, and let's see how this one will play out. Bringing, well, the usual criminals that we would expect here. Vigil being partnered with the Mute, Wamai, Jaeger, and Smoke going to round that one out. Offense looking quite similar to what we were seeing from the Soniqs as well for Tempo Storm. So we'll see if they work the map in any different way here, but still worried about the same things. I have noticed, though, instead of the Zofia, they're bringing Ken's on the Buck. I don't know if this is by personal choice and he just feels more comfortable on the C8s or exactly what, but that is going to make things a little bit different here, especially for Creator's role playing the Ash. He's the only one besides Dream that has any utility that you can get rid of other things at range. Obviously, you can use Crazy Selmas in that way, but it's probably not going to be what's best for the team. So this is going to make not an awkward dynamic, but a little bit of a different dynamic for Dream and Creators inside of this round. We could see Ken's probably utilized inside of Kitchen, using that skeleton key to good use on the ceiling.
The extra flashbangs at least are going to help with being able to clear out both the Jaegers and the magnets that'll be set up across the map, and that opens up some greater play capability for the smokes from Crazy, of course, if he gets an opportunity to use those to execute and hopefully plant behind them. We'll end up seeing how all of that pans out, of course, over the next 3 minutes here. Now the Tempo are out and about on the map itself. Slevin's going to hide himself on the inside of Kitchen. Super will do the same from the inside of Security. And now they'll both sit back and wait for the opportunity to try and frag out against the early lurkers here from Tempo, who, at least in the case of Dream, are staring on the outside of Tower right now. And Dream's not alone on that either. He's got both Crazy and Jarvis working with him to get control of the tall structure to start off their attack.
Well, Creator's waiting outside of Kitchen right now. Gets on drone to clear the area. Slevin not currently having the backpack on, so he is visible from the drones. Now the rest of this area downstairs sees the mutant side of Security, and Creators chooses to start putting pressure on this area. Has to worry about the double, but he's going to pop that open. Start seeing if he can handle these guys downstairs. He's going to need some assistance, but the rest of Tempo Storm currently working throughout the rest of the map. It's only a 2v2 downstairs right now, as I believe Tempo Storm's mainly focused on getting open that attic.
Super still just waiting for his opportunity to strike. Not really forcing the issue, though, but now trying to get an angle with a shotgun. A second player suddenly reveals themselves to him, and it's Ken's. Slevin, though, coming in the clutch. Trades out both of those players, and Gomfy makes it a third from upstairs as he takes out Creators with a shotty, bringing it down all to just Dream and Jarvis to bring things back under control from Tempo. Great play from Slevin to flip that back around after Super fell on the inside of Security.
That was very unfortunate. I know I've been saying that quite often, but my God, that was unfortunate for them. Slevin still holding onto the Kitchen downstairs, and this is practically all for naught at this point for Tempo Storm. It's a 2v4, but don't really have the utility means to get into sight. They do have Dream still alive,
He's
so
still
they could
full focused on killing Slevin right now, though, which is a big issue for them. They still have no.
You know what else is full?
What?
Oh, never mind. Well, his torches are full, but they have the wall open. That's what I was gonna say. But they actually had Crazy do that instead. So it's just these two left remaining. Not a very good round for Tempo Storm at all. It was mainly that bottom clear that ended up doing quite a bit of damage to him.
So this isn't too surprising to see from Tempo now. They've realized that, like, okay, if we go attic, we're gonna die. If we try to go Kitchen and clear, we might get traded 1-for-1. Like, we might get him, but at that point, it's a 1v3. So good luck with that one. So they are gonna try and move their positioning around to work their way in through Arsenal. They're doing this very quickly too, because obviously they don't have a lot of time to make this happen. Jarvis hops in. Dream will be right next to him, but immediately we're going to see smoke charges working their way out to try and delay them as much as possible. They're just dumping all of their utility in. Dream actually gets one as well. Iconic's gonna go down from that. Gomfy brings out yet another smoke charge and takes down both of the remaining players from Tempo to solidify the 7th round for the Soniqs and also put them just 2 more rounds away from closing out this map.
Really strong beginnings here for this defense from the Soniqs. Not even really early aggression. It was reserved hold for not only the site players, but also the lurkers, as you were talking about, downstairs inside of Kitchen. So really nice setup for them and great abuse of the Vigil. Very weird that Tempo Storm was not able to get a bead on him, especially since he was just sitting inside of Kitchen. There was nothing really special about it. They just never really droned the area. Didn't use his backpack to avoid anything. He kind of just sat there among all of the debris that he caused on top of the table and was able to get away from it. After that, though, the Tempo Storm tries to bounce back, but it was mostly for naught as Tempo had been hindered quite a lot by losing 2 soft destructors down low.
All right, folks. Well, as usual, we've got some great new offerings in the Rainbow Six store.
We do?
We've got some
Tell
more
me
of those
more.
Pro League bundles. You can see them right there on your screen right now. There's the Kaid one. Be sure to go ahead and check out those Pro League bundles, which, of course, they directly support Rainbow Six Esports and all of your favorite teams. That includes all the new Rainbow Six Share skins as well. Be sure to go ahead and check them out. They're in the store right now.
You know what I heard?
What's that?
I heard if you buy them that your elo gain goes up by 0.001.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
That's a lot.
it's quite a lot. So much you'd never notice.
It's almost a fraction of a point, you know? That's
Fractions of fractions.
all right, folks, let's get into the next round here. Round number 8, as the Soniqs inch closer and closer to victory. Tempo is looking for a way to turn this back around, be able to take control of some of these rounds on the attacks, that they too have a chance to maintain their footing and possibly take a win here on Oregon. Quite a few players going to be working their way in towards Small Tower at the start. Relatively safe opening point, or at least it would appear that way until they get towards the Kitchen, where we are going to find players like Iconic hiding out, trying to take these drones down and maybe sticking around as well. I'm not entirely sure of that one, but I'll hold my judgment for the next few seconds here. It looks like Gomfi's nearby to support too. So this is definitely a setup that the Sonics are trying to play into pretty heavily. And Tempo's got to be careful.
I really like what the Sonics have done so far on the defense. They know that Tempo Storm is down a player right now inside of their lineup. Ken's subbing in, obviously. So the forced aggression here is going to make them flood those comms if the comms aren't too solid. Those early picks, as well as that early aggression, is going to be hard to relay to the team. And with these early picks that Sonics are looking for, it could be the end of Tempo Storm. There's a lot of players right here, right now, specifically Dream inside of Small Tower. This early pick could be all they need. The Maverick off the board changes up quite a bit. They do still have the ace, though, so don't hold your breath too long here. Sonic's doing a very good job of delaying, continually getting rid of these drones as Tempo Storm is just not allowed to capitalize on them.
Dream waiting for the capability to try and knock out Gomfi, still hiding in the corner of Kids right now. Flash is going to go right into his face, but thankfully he's able to dodge it to the corner next to him. About to get double swung, though, but he gets the early preview with the rifle swing from Ken's there. Is going to be able to take him out. Nice rotate from Dream, though. Goes all the way around through the attic rotate and takes him out from behind. Gomfi definitely wasn't expecting that one, and that'll lead to a nice trade to bring it down to a 4v4.
It was so 200 IQ to assume they made the rotate. Oh my. I mean, there was layers right there, folks. That was some game sense on top of game sense. Anyways, Tempo Storm now down Ken's, but Gomfi traded out. So not the worst thing in the world for Tempo Storm, as they have quite a bit of control of the map, but not very much time to get things done. That's going to be the main issue for them now, is they're mainly focused around Freezer. Mostly looking like a Freezer laundry take for the time being, as utility goes down, start clearing out these reinforcements and such for Tempo Storm. Iconic going to be the first line of defense here for the Sonics for Freezer, as a lot of Tempo's utility being poured in, smoke grenades and all.
They're going to lose one of their magnets there due to a frag grenade being thrown in the first one, the second one being a little bit too close. But at this point, that shouldn't matter too much here for the Sonics. They've got it down to 30 seconds. They've got it into a 4v4, and a lot of the utility from the attackers has already been wasted. Tempo going to be relying a lot on their fragging capability to get in here, and thankfully things are going to start out well. Dream gets his second, now third on the round as he takes out Iconic here. Lots of control suddenly going under the wings of Tempo Storm here. Sleben going to start to battle things back, but he loses his teammate just as quickly. Sleben now alone in the 1v3 with only 5 seconds left, though. Dream needs to confirm the plant. He's well on his way to doing so. Sleben might have missed the note on this despite him being close by, and indeed that's the case. Takes down the plant, though, doesn't confirm it just yet. Goes for damage on Creators instead and brings him down low as well. Sleben still with plenty of time to play this out and needs to try and isolate these headshots. Finds out where the second player is. He now knows that they should both be on the inside of Freezer. Now it's a matter of trying to get aggressive. I'll look for, see if there's a free angle through that soft destruction. Doesn't find it. Tries to fire through it on the left side instead. Now going for the swing here, trying to take out Jarvis, but he can't get any damage on him. Now it changes up, goes for it with the pistol, downs him, and brings it down to only one player. But finally, Creators will get the last laugh here as he finally gets the opportunity to shut Sleben down as he tries to get back control inside of the site.
Not the prettiest post plant, but it'll work. Very nice setup there for the Sonics going into that last little bit, but it didn't work out for him. I assumed because they had those crosses that it wasn't going to be the worst thing with that Freezer take, but Tempo Storm with an immense amount of firepower, bowl over everybody in sight. Nice pickup earlier on onto Iconic, which really freed a lot of things up for them to put pressure into Freezer. Also utilizing those air jabs especially to make it to where you can't push Freezer how you want to. Helped out Tempo Storm a lot in that instance. The Sonics want to head back downstairs after that one. You can't exactly blame them. It's just kind of a botch into the later half of the round there. They got the pick that they needed, and they had everyone inside of sight how they should have been. They just ended up losing the gunfight. So headed back downstairs to see if they can finally push themselves to map point.
All right, guys. Seeing if that can be the case here for the Sonics now. 2 more rounds away from being able to close this one down. Going to try things out on the basement once again, since they came very, very close to success. Only to be thwarted by Tempo and primarily Dream doing some great work there from the fragging side of things. Overall, though, operator lineup going to bring a lot of that similar flair. Ken's does actually bring in the Zofia to the picture this time as well, so might have actually adjusted that a few rounds back. I just wanted to notate on that since they switched away from the buck that had been used earlier on in the matchup there. So a few seconds away here from Tempo being unleashed. And more importantly, kind of want to see here if Sonics are going to try to play this as aggressively. Their operator selects would indicate no. And I think based on their current positions, we're going to see much more kind of traditional positioning being set up here by the Sonics. A lot less of that roam game that we saw back on the first and second floors in the last round.
Okay, well, we are going to have the Soniqs with very similar mirror setup to what we saw the Tempo Storm bring. The Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm bring. Yeah, apparently they got a the in front of their name at some point. I don't really know. Anyways, so Tempo Storm going to be going for a small clear here.
Now it's just make all the orgs like really mad at you. Just
dude, we're going to get back on the Ohio
Sonics,
State. That's what's going to happen.
The
yeah.
Tempo Storm. The Dark Zero.
Just force it onto everyone. Just force it.
Just get a bunch of angry tweets from org owners. See how many I can collect.
Just wear them like badges of honor. Put them all to your banner on Twitter. That's what you need to do. Anyways, Tempo Storm starting things off here, clearing out the map as per usual. But let's jump over and start talking about the defense a little bit. Let's start talking about things that are interesting. Droning isn't that interesting. They're just getting information and looking for people on the map to kill and seeing where utility is. This defensive setup right now for the Soniqs, I like what I'm seeing. I like that they've made it to where Super can play both of these Miras in a very tight-knit area. So wherever the pressure comes from, he's allowed to help them. So if Gomfi has to step back, Super can step up, or Gomfi can go play that mirror, while Super's also handling laundry. There's a lot of good things that the Soniqs are doing here. Tempo Storm seem to really want this back take. They just got electrical open, and now they are starting to pressure down into blue. Need some of that back tower spice as well to handle Iconic on pillar.
See Iconic waiting for an opportunity to take out the player on backstairs, but won't get it just yet. In the meantime, Craters is going to have a little bit of free reign. Take out at least one of those shields, or try to take out one of the shields. Doesn't look like it was successful in the first peek there. Second one should definitely get the job done. Hopefully taking out that shield and giving a little bit more room for Tempo to breathe here as they try to push their way in through the tunnel. Sleben, though, still very much ready and waiting to try and take this out, as it looks like, no, in fact, the shield still has not gone here. Frag Grenade going to absolutely destroy Sleben's HP, and the Goyo shield nearly kills him off. But he's going to be able to survive, pushes himself forward. The drone will isolate out easily, suspicious. I don't know if it saw Sleben. That drone should have, though, on the way in. So assuming that either one of those two caught him here, there needs to be an immediate reaction to take him down, because if not, Sleben's in a very powerful position to shut things down. Thankfully, though, the player from backstairs will actually catch him out as Crater just pushes up, and no one's any the wiser here. Dream as well assisting with that. Iconic finally trades it back, but Craters now on a triple takes down Iconic before he can find any impact, and Craters will end it on a 4K. Beautiful round from him, and very much deserving of one of those Dream collapses we just saw on screen.
Very unfortunate miscommunication there for the defense, but amazing by Tempo Storm to capitalize on it. They got all of that pillar pressure without anyone knowing it at all. It was just completely unannounced. Walk in, take control of pillar, and they're able to get two big frags off the back end of that. Soniqs apparently not knowing that pillars was clear, ended up playing that 5v5 in a little bit of a awkward fashion, then ended up getting a couple of their players killed, but they almost ended up having it once the refrags came through, but Creator's just too powerful on the Ash. Soniqs now headed upstairs, and we're having a 6 pick off of the Wamai here, bringing the Valkyrie for a little bit more information.
Some cracks starting to show in the defense for the Soniqs here. Whether they'll be able to fix them or not is up to them, of course, as now they go back upstairs where we have seen some success from them already. Time to see if they can replicate it once again here, as Tempo finally finding their own strength. Going to get back into this game, and they're only one more round away from being able to do it here. So the Soniqs have a bit of a rude wake-up call coming if they can't repeat a win upstairs here on this site. We're still going to see quite a bit of a roam-heavy operator lineup with regards to Easily and Sleben being able to move themselves across the map. How far out they will go, of course, we'll see that in a moment here, as Soniqs did favor that playstyle quite heavily at the beginning of this half, but at least based off the basement play, did decide to draw it back. Very good chance we're probably going to see it make a reappearance on this round, though, as it does give a little bit more freedom to those operators.
Okay, well, Tempo Storm now out the gates and onto the field. Bringing the Ash, Zoe, and Ace once again here. The Zoe, a new one for Ken, so you've seen him mostly on the buck for their offenses so far. Didn't really have the potency that they were looking for. That skeleton key not getting a lot of good use, so nice pick up here for Kens to pick up the impacts and concussions to see how well he can do. Tempo should know what they're walking into this time around, as the Soniqs are holding down the areas in which they did the last time that they held Dorm. Still have those two players downstairs, Super inside of security and Sleben inside of kitchen. But with Wamai off the board for the Soniqs, that's going to be less that Tempo has to burn through on the defense. So depending on what intel Tempo does get, we could see a bunch of different things.
Already a quick opening going to be happening over towards the attic walls here. Shouldn't be too much of a delay on our attackers being able to open that, specifically Dream, the one doing that work. But Doesn't look like they want to gather a little bit more intel before the job is done. Actually, I'll take that back. The job has already been done. It's so quick, I missed it. Kens, of course, now firing in some of the charges from the lifeline. One of them is going to get eaten up by an ADS. Second one, I believe, might have suffered a similar fate, but either way, no impact on taking down the reinforced shield. But actually, no, we still have that second ADS alive as well. The good news, though, is the shield is actually too close to the window, so Dream just moves right up, torches it for about half a second, and then bye-bye to that. No more ranged charges need to be used in order to self-destruct that away.
Well, about halfway through the round now, as Tempo Storm is well on their way to getting this site opened. Attic pressure already going on for Tempo. They already got that master end done as well, so they're just waiting to see if these early picks can possibly come through. Soniqs, though, playing very slow here and just playing very reserved all up until Iconic finally gets grenaded. Nice placement there by Dream, and that's going to be the Attic player gone. Easily knowing this, now rotates across to retake Attic. Another frag grenade in, but oh, amazing pressure, all timed off the back of the rotate from Slebin, as actually he is able to save his teammate's life. Super and him with a very nice flank from underneath. Great play, but crazy now with a nice pickup. No pressure into sight, though, as actually Kratos has worked his way in. Super and easily, well, at least Super, the only one off site right now, is the case is actually over inside of Attic. They'll be able to hold onto this for the time being as we enter the last 30 seconds.
Raiders look at that back under his possession. We did end up seeing easily, not Super, drop down. Raiders trying to bait it out as he tries to go for the plan initially. He knew that player more than likely dropped down the hatch, but he can't lock down that player's position. And oh, a nice adjustment there to finish off Super. Granted, he was already pretty low, but Super should have had a free one there. Not the case. And now this goes down to a 1v1. Easily looking for the clutch. Kratos committed, more than likely going to be able to confirm the plant for himself here. There's the swing, whether he knew he was ready for it or not. And then, yeah, Easily is just off of the recoil more than anything else. Going to be able to take Kratos down, finish him off. Takes him a second to realize that he got him, but indeed, that is the case. And now with plenty of time remaining, the counter defuse only a second away here. The Soniqs will finally get that second round for themselves and push up onto 6 overall for the map, netting them only one more away from closing things down here.
Very nice setup there from the Soniqs. I like how they utilize their two lurkers downstairs inside of kitchen for that late flank. Instead of waiting for someone to come to them once the work started for Tempo and they were getting pressure onto certain parts of the map that were very, very big for them, the Soniqs wanted to slow things down. So they send Super as well as, I believe it was Slebin actually on the Vigil, all the way across through kitchen. Well, the kitchen hallway, excuse me, all the way across through the kitchen hallway to Big Tower, able to get a lot of very, very big frags there, and they all timed it with the Valkyrie to pinch onto Attic. That was beautifully done there from the Soniqs. Great communication overall by them, and that's exactly why they're sitting at match point.
Yeah, I was a little worried about what that roam presence was going to be able to do in a late round situation, but thankfully they dashed those fears pretty quickly with that beautiful Attic pinch to shut down most of the normal execute from Tempo. Despite that fact, almost saw the clutch come out, but a little far away from that one, as Easily was able to very safely control the situation and still put Soniqs in the winning position to push them up onto 6. One more is all they need. They're not going to go back to the basement, seeing as they've had a lot of issues winning rounds there. Instead, it's going to be the two sites right next to each other here on Kitchen and the Cafeteria. See if they can get themselves their final round here in order to get them the 1-0 lead on the series and put Tempo in a very, very bad position overall for the league.
Quite a few things going on for the Soniqs right now. They've brought Mira, that's the biggest one that's standing out. Obviously Goyo, but Goyo, you just slap some shields down and they have gas attached to them, so that one's pretty self-explanatory. This one, though, this is very unique, what Soniqs are doing here. So 2 ADSs, some soft destruction for feet, as well as a Mira to be able to see through. So I'm assuming that this is for Slebin, just vision through the wall that he's able to capitalize off of just like that. He's just going to stand above the Vulcan shield and shoot through the soft wall instead of taking a face-to-face gunfight.
You know, if he's actually holding the wall, that would be a massive risk through the window that just got popped right outside there. And in fact, folks on Tempo probably taking that window out in hopes that that player was playing against it, but now they realize what the setup looks like due to that drone sitting on the other side of lockers that Slebin just took down. Got a much clearer picture about how things may be shaping up there. One of the smokes also getting used very early on here too, as it's tossed into the window, and they're going to use this to try and work their way in through the door. Slebin should be able to see this, but it's actually going to be Creators gets himself off to a good start here as he takes down Easily.
Well, Tempo Storm mostly worried about this Showers player right now. Drones inside, and Slebin knows that, so kicks on the backpack. try and keep himself from being known for at least a little bit longer, but Tempo Storm is doing such a dang good job of clearing all of this utility. Still have 1:45 seconds, and they've mostly cleared out showers already. No impact available for Sleb, and he has 2, but from that range, not able to get the arcing needs to get that Selma off the wall. Very low HP now, but he's still residing inside of showers. Almost able to get up a kill here, or pick up a kill here, as Dream actually takes him down. Shower presence now gone, and it's actually Tempo Storm inside, but they're going to pick off Iconic as he tries to skimper back to site. This is a great showing here for Tempo Storm, up 5-2 right now.
They've been doing great work of forcing Soniqs players out of positions, getting them into the open, and, obviously consequentially taking them down. Seconds later, too, Gomfi trying to play up against this window. He's got Creators right on the other side of it. He can't go up right now, or he's a dead man. Even if Creators hops in the window, he may not be ready for that. Gomfi, of course, hears the shots, tries to react to it. Is going to be able to catch Dream on a hop in here. He's got to watch his flank, though, as that window player is not far behind him. And also, we saw Creators hop in through the very window where he just killed a player from. So bye-bye to Gomfi. All on the super now in the 1v4 scenario. He's got very little sight control to play off of, and now he doesn't have a life either. Jarvis will take him down. Tempo net themselves round number 11. We're not done with this map just yet. Tempo are keeping up the fight here on attack.
I just want to bring up this point, because we talked about this on the analyst desk, but this is Soniqs' map pick, and right now we're sitting at 6-5 without Mark playing.
Very true.
Kenz is in right now. Kenz only has 1 kill. So that's going to be a pretty big game changer, I think, especially rolling into Cafe, which is Tempo's map pick. There could be a major shift in what's going on in between these two teams, but that's for another hour. Right now, we got to see who can win out Oregon. You guys have Kenz for the rest of this time. If Kenz makes an impact inside of these rounds, this is when Tempo can have just run away with it. As long as Kenz is able to produce something here for Tempo Storm. And again, it's not all of his fault. The Soniqs have been doing a lot of things that are very, very good for them. We've been seeing them use the soft destructors in very good ways. The fragging's been very strong for them. Lots of good stuff happening on the inside of the Soniqs camp that Tempo Storm really hasn't found a way to deal with. And just because Mark's in play doesn't mean that all of a sudden that's going to happen.
Bit of a curious 6 pick here from Tempo Storm. Could lead to some good stuff, though. We actually saw them switch off of the Maverick and onto a Ying. So we'll have to see how this plays out for them when they go for the basement attack. They're not going to be left without Hard Breach, of course, despite the fact they moved away from the Maverick. They still have Crazy here on the Ace, so they'll still have the 3 Selmas to work with. But if there is any wall denial, which, hey, thankfully for them, there's not, then yeah, they would have obviously needed the Maverick, but that's no longer a concern. So they only have to worry about things like impact tricking to take out their Hard Breaches here, as of course they're going to try and make an attempt to open up some of those very crucial walls through the construction tunnel or other areas such as the hatches if he needs to take those out. But nope, that's going to be pretty risky if he does have to take out the hatches. That's going to use 2 out of 3 of them right there. So we'll see, as more than likely those might have to be ignored by Tempo if they're going to opt for the tunnel push, as so many teams have been doing so far throughout this map.
There's quite a bit going on for both of these squads right now, so we'll try and sum it up as easily as possible. Number 1, player upstairs inside of attic. That attic's actually destroyed partially, so he can see through that, I do believe, through a hole, and is able to kill anyone trying to prevent anyone from getting the attic, or not the attic, but at least the electrical box hatch open, which is a very, very big deal. This is one of the most pivotal hatches in this entire site, and that's exactly why Dream is probably bringing the secondary hard breach here, is because he can just pop that on the hatch, and then he has 3 Candelas that can not only be used up against those Miras, but also can get a lot of pressure onto the site once they go for that execute. Remember, Sleben's the only man that's bringing anything to prevent throwables right now for the defense. So with no Amai on the board, that's a whole hell of a lot less burn for Tempo.
So yeah, with Dream bringing that secondary hard breach here, hatch concerns won't be as dire here for the Tempo Storm roster. Dream specifically is actually working himself in that general direction right now as he's kind of checking things out over towards meeting room. Bit of a self-drone here as Jarvis will, in fact, clear. It's not really a self-drone, but either way. Air jab will be set up to make sure no wild swings come from the kitchen, and Jarvis now clearing out the meeting hall. We'll see that this is an open possibility for Tempo to take, and for Dream to use the can opener on if it is indeed time for that. Well, taking a look at the rest of the Tempo roster here to see what they're getting up to. Well, in fact, it's going to be Kenz that caught first here. It's going to be taken down by Slevin. I believe trying to push in. Yep, we can see the dead bodies. Trying to push in through the construction tunnel here. He's going to get taken down. Crater's in the area, but definitely not going to be given any opportunity to trade here. Jarvis also hearing some of those shots from Iconic, but Iconic on the response does not want this fight. So he's going to back away and fall back to the freezer.
Well, don't worry about it, Kenz. That's how I feel every single time I play with Kickstars. Don't worry about it. Tempo Storm. Still with a very strong front here. Creators currently having 18 frags inside of this map, trying to make it happen for Tempo Storm, but they're going to need a lot more than some kills in order to make this happen. Candela's now in as Dream drops down, and seems like pure anarchy is in the waits here. Dream moving over towards Pillar now. Still has plenty of presence to handle from the Soniqs, obviously. Still have 5 people alive. Mostly focused onto the actual single panel now for Pillar, but Creator picks up another frag here. Now on to 19, but Sleben immediately fries him back here as Crazy falls. Very, very slow execute here for Tempo Storm, but Sonic good for most of it. Creators with yet another kill here. That's a double for him now. 20 frags inside of this. He needs to assist Jarvis as they're trying to go for the plant, clearing all these angles. The ARX eats one alive, but Gomfy with a double kill ends the map there, and Creators 21 frags for the L.
See this replay real quick. Great transfer at the very end of it from Gomfy. Beautiful stuff to pick up both of those kills, as if he doesn't get that flick off, he's going down, and we potentially are looking at a different winner in that round. But not to be the case. It's going to be the Soniqs that come out on top of map number 1 here. They will take their own pick, and they will now lead